The title of this video is Cancer Does Not Exist. So lots of people use this word cancer. You might say, a friend of mine has cancer, or I have cancer. Hope you don't have cancer because it's fucking horrible. But people talk about this thing called cancer. And unfortunately, unless you're a doctor, you shouldn't really be talking about cancer because it doesn't exist. At least it doesn't exist in the way that non-medical people think about disease. Really, there are all these different diseases with names like breast cancer, bowel cancer, appendicital cancer, maybe, or cancer of the appendix, peritoneal cancer, liver cancer, lung cancer, cancer of the esophagus. But really, they are different diseases that share a common characteristic, or possibly several common characteristics. I don't know enough about medicine. But I do know enough to understand that they're different diseases, that that's the most common thing you'd say was what they have this unregulated cell division, or they keep going and going on. They're not getting the message that the cells should die. But they're really different diseases, and in fact, even one cancer is a set of different diseases at different stages. They really are. And I think if people understood this more, maybe people would not believe so much stupid nonsense about cancer. Particularly junk science cures. You'd see very quickly at a glance that it's nonsense to say that, oh well, there's this certain, we can cure cancer by chewing gravel or whatever. The public's understanding of health is very poor. Now, lots of reasons for that. Public understanding of both science and mathematics is fucking disgrace, really. When you think of how much access we have to really high quality books and training videos, and how much access we have to people now. I can spend a minute on Google and find someone who's a world leader in a certain field. I can email them and they'll often reply. I can ask them questions, what I should believe, what I should be sceptical about. There's amazing access to these people now. And we have tools to analyse, assess, compare information and data. And yet, the vast majority of people have almost no understanding of, let's say, science and mathematics, but maybe as a consequence of that, the vast majority of people have a very, very, very poor understanding of health and medicine, and myself included. Although I think my understanding of medicine has increased exponentially every few days over the past few months of being diagnosed with terminal cancer. So, back to the point of this video. Cancer does not exist. So, for example, I have this thing called bowel cancer, and it has spread to my liver and my lymphatic system in the abdomen, hopefully just in the abdomen, and peritoneum, which is a membrane that covers and protects the organs of the abdomen and helps them kind of move past each other and that kind of thing as you twist and move about. And one of the first kind of barriers to my understanding of this was it's quite hard to grasp the fact that I don't have liver cancer, I have secondary bowel cancer in the liver. Just as I don't have whatever it's called, malignant lymphoma or something, the cancer of the lymphatic system. I have bowel cancer that has spread into the lymphatic system. I don't have peritoneal cancer. I have bowel cancer that has got into the peritoneum. And therefore, treatments for liver cancer, for example, are not necessarily, or in the vast majority of cases, are not applicable to me at all. The chemotherapy that works for liver cancer is not chemotherapy that works for bowel cancer, even though the target would be one of the three targets would be the tumours that have grown in my liver. So I think it'd be really, really useful for medical professionals to just stop talking about cancer. Because there's, from the point of view of a patient, there's so little connection between different cancers in practical terms, and it's confusing and disappointing when you hear about treatments for something. You think, oh, that's great. Oh, actually, it doesn't apply to my situation. And more than that, it's really important to understand that talking about a specific cancer, the different stages of that cancer are really different diseases. Because again, it's very, very hard as a patient to kind of grasp this idea that, if I had bowel cancer that had just not spread outside of my bowel, would be almost certainly curable. That's what I was looking at. That's what I was thinking about when I first got the lab results saying that the tumour in my bowel was a cancer. And it was like, oh, that's terrible, but you can take out the tumour and have some chemotherapy to kill other little tumours that are too small to see, or just cancer cells that are floating around. And have your scans, and every few months have the scans, and after 5 years, if there's still no sign of the cancer, they'd say you're cured. Now, when the cancer spread outside of an organ, it becomes terminal, generally speaking. Well, why? Why is it that we can treat tumours in the liver, can treat tumours in the colon, and yet if the colon cancer spreads to the liver, it's generally terminal? Well, not necessarily, actually, no. But in my case, the bowel cancer spread to the liver, lymphatic system, peritoneum. It's terminal, can't be cured. Well, a much better way of understanding that is I had this bowel cancer, this disease, and it's now caused another disease in different organs, which is not treatable. Because that's really what's happened, is that the cancer cells evolve just like whenever there's any kind of cell reproduction, you're obviously going to get evolution. And that would make it a lot easier to understand. And also, like I said before, it would stop people believing such silly things. Things that are just, I say there's some anecdotal evidence for them. Anecdotal evidence is a contradiction in terms, because if something's an anecdote, it's not evidence. And if you have an understanding of at least the current knowledge of the diseases we're talking about, this big set of diseases, then a whole load of pseudoscientific stuff can be rejected immediately. It's clearly nonsense. Because if it were true, if something goes against the vast body of evidence and current understanding, then that new idea should have really, really, really overwhelming evidence if it's going to make us question something like digestion. So there's a lot of silly ideas about curing cancer by eating sticks or something. And those kind of ideas go against basic concepts of digestion, of food moving through your body on it's about 50 hours it takes for food to go through your body, and a whole bunch of processes, known processes, take place during that journey, and those are well known, well documented, and quite a robust model, and evidence for our current understanding of digestion is kind of building. We're not getting more and more evidence kind of contradicting it, getting building, growing evidence. So if someone comes along and says, well, you can eat these sticks and it will cure all these different cancers. If we say to ourselves, well, cancer is not really something that exists, these are all different diseases, what's the chance of this stick being able to cure all these different diseases, there'd suddenly be a lot more questioning, and I think we'd be fooled less of the time. So it's just really unfortunate that this idea of cancer is kind of is so rooted in the public's imagination. And it really clouds our understanding of these, what are really different diseases. And that tricks us, which is not a good thing. So hopefully this video has been useful or possibly interesting. And if you'd like to help me out, you can make a donation to my cancer treatment fund that's paying for scientifically valid treatment that's not covered by health insurance. And that's at www.matthewdons.org. That's MATTHEWDONS.org. Thank you for listening.